Hey there, my name is David Lee with CoachDavidLee.com. The following video is an excerpt from my complete email marketing course using MailerLite. If you get some value from it, give it a like, share it out, leave any comments or questions below, and I encourage you to enroll in the full course if you really want to get a complete and effective email marketing strategy up and running within just a day or two. So enjoy the video. All right, welcome back to the course. The next lesson in our section on automation is on how to pre-write your emails before you actually start creating your automation workflow, which we'll do later. But one of the number one things, maybe just the number one most important thing when you're writing your emails and creating your automation is to know your purpose. What is it that you want your subscribers to do? Where are you leading them? Right? We talked about that in the last lesson, but it's absolutely worth repeating. An automation is all about leading your new subscribers somewhere, okay? The end goal, the end result. It might be to buy your product or to enroll in a course that you have. Or it might be that you want them to hire you, that you want to work with them, or you're looking for clients, whatever that might be. So one big tip, and something that I always like to do in my automation, is to tell people what to expect. So if they get an email, that initial email, I always like to tell them what to expect over the next few days, or maybe there's an email going out every day or maybe every other day, but I like to just let them know what they're going to be getting. All right, so you can almost sort of advertise kind of what you're going to be telling them or giving them in the upcoming emails. And absolutely the best thing you could do is just provide value. Provide value to these subscribers, followers, because ultimately you want them to become your customers or clients or fans, followers, whatever that is. So just focus on providing value, answer questions, solve problems. Don't focus so much on selling, okay? Especially in the beginning with your automation. I love this quote by Gary Vaynerchuk. He's absolutely one of the top online business builders in the world. He says that a story is at its best when it's not intrusive, when it brings value to a platform's consumers, and when it fits in as a natural step along the customer's path to making a purchase. That is awesome, and it really perfectly sums up the purpose and the mindset you should have when creating your automation. Okay, bring value, help people make a decision. Okay, because an automation also helps you work through sort of sorting people out, filtering people. Okay, who's interested, who's not. And then another tip. You also want to use it to lead them back to your website. Maybe you want them to read another blog post, or you want them to get more information somewhere, or you've got a story to tell, or something like that. But that's also one of the big things that you also want to do is have them constantly go back to your website. One of the biggest sources of traffic for your website or blog should be your email list, okay? When you've got a new blog post or things like that, well, it's true for automation too. Have them go back and read more blog posts that brings more value to them. And then also when you're pre-writing your emails, think about the formatting. And that's just things like bolding, italicize, putting in links, maybe capital letters or subheaders, things like that. Images. So what I like to do is have that already done in like a Word document before I actually put it into the MailerLite automation. So here is a simple series of emails that I have pre-written that I actually use for another training and another course of mine. So I like to just put them all in one Word document so that I've got them all here and I know what order they're in. So this is the initial first email that goes out. This goes out before the confirmation email. And I always like to have the subject line up there and then the body of the email here. And then if I'm using any personalizations like from a different field, in other words, this would be, hey, John. So if they entered in their first name in that field, their first name would appear right here when they see the email. But I like to put this in red here just to remind me that I do need to add that personalization when creating the automation, and I'll show you how to do that here in the next lesson. But I like to have the email just pre-written, and again, like we talked about earlier in the course, I like to just talk to them as if they're a friend, and always remember that one person is getting this email, so write as if you were writing to one person. So I like to, basically this email goes to them after they've already enrolled to take my free training. And the whole purpose of this particular series is just providing them more value, ongoing value and advice about that training. And then I'm ultimately leading them to enroll in the full course. Okay, so the training is about a 35 minute free video training. And then once they enter that in, they get access to the video training like we looked at earlier in the course. And then this series of emails goes out to eventually lead them to enroll in the full course. So I like to put in, just some bolding here. I like to use very short paragraphs, 1 to 2 sentence paragraphs at most. And I just think it helps catches people's eye as they're reading their email, whether it's on a desktop or a tablet or a phone. And also remember, if they are viewing your emails on a phone, you don't want to put your paragraphs too big because it just looks like a big block of text, okay? And I like to, at the end of my emails, I like to tell them what they're going to get next, like we talked about earlier. Tomorrow we'll be looking at some free but super powerful online tools you can use to find out specifically what your target market is searching for online. The subject line is Secret Online Tools to Discover Your Target Market. Make sure you add my email address to your trusted emails list so that you don't miss any tips or secrets. Have a great rest of the day. We'll talk tomorrow. So again, I've just kind of been very friendly, being very personable, telling them what to look for tomorrow. Here's the subject line, okay? So I'm even telling them, so it catches their eye when they see it in their email. And of course, here's the next email. Title or subject line, Secret Online Tools to Discover Your Target Market. And then I just kind of continue with this email, whatever this subject is. And then again, down there, I've got, tomorrow we'll really get at the heart of this concept and talk a little bit more about how to create online content, blah, 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 that people actually want. So be on the lookout for the subject line, create online content people want. Holler at you tomorrow. So again, I always like to end one email by letting them know what to expect next. Okay, you don't have to do that, but that's just, I think it helps a lot, and that was a tip that I picked up that I've been using for a long time. So anyway, I'm not going to go over every one of these, but you can kind of see the last email here is this email here, the follow-up third email, is basically inviting them to take the full course. And I'm telling them what they're going to get from it. I'm also giving them a 20% discount. I'm bullet pointing here everything that they're going to get out of the course, everything that they're going to learn from it, and then what bonuses they're going to get. So I'm just giving them value, right? So, and then down below I've got another link to take the full course that I'll hyperlink in there. And then I'm also going to send them maybe a couple days after this, just kind of a final offer, final value, for the 20% off course. Again, it's almost just like a, hey, here's my final offer kind of thing. So that's just a real simple series that I've created. And then we'll actually go in and build an actual automation workflow using these pre-written emails. But it is super important that you go ahead and pre-write your emails. You may even want to take a piece of paper and actually start mapping it out. Like, what emails do you want to send? What do you want to say? Who are you talking to? Who are you trying to attract? What is it that you want them to do? So think about those things. And like I said, you may actually want to just jot it down on a piece of paper and maybe start making some notes and some outlines, and then come in and actually start writing your emails. And then figure out what kind of formatting do you want to do. Where's the bolding? Where are the links? Do you need any images? Typically, I don't like to use a lot of images, but make sure you give yourself a note that they're going to click a link here. So I like to actually have this all ready and all pre-written before I even start creating a workflow. All right, here's your pro tip for pre-writing your emails. And that's just to think it through, okay? Make sure that you kind of take yourself through that process. Think as your new subscriber. Kind of put yourself in their place. And just think about what it would be like if you got, these emails. Are you offering enough value? Are you leading them to where it is that you want them to eventually go? And so just think through that process. What does that process look like? And it really helps to just kind of jot it down on some paper. And you could get into actually splitting off the emails, like we'll look at that later, but determining if somebody clicks or doesn't click, or opens it or doesn't open it. But just what is it that you want them to do, and just